Welcome, everyone. Good morning. Excuse me. Good morning and welcome to this Pearson English webinar. Thank you for joining us today. Join the conversation online with the hashtag #ReadyForWebinars. Please remember this session is recorded and the recording will be made available via our YouTube channel after the event. Also, every participant will receive a certificate of attendance. Please submit any questions you have in the chat box and we will answer these at the end of the session. Without further delay, I'm excited to hand over to Donna, I'm excited to hand over to Donna, who's going to tell us about the reading for pleasure to enhance well-being. Thank you, Donna.
Okay, thank you, Charlie, and welcome everybody. And it's absolutely amazing. I'm looking at the chat. If you could all write in where you're coming from, where you come from today. We've got Ecuador, we've got Erica from Brazil. Hello. We've got Latvia, Svetlana. We've got Rome. We've got Kieran from Florence. Isn't that lovely? Croatia, Ecuador, Yangon. Myanmar, lovely. Oh wow, what a lot of countries. Peru, India. Hello, Rosa from Italy. We've got Switzerland, Saudi Arabia, Vietnam. Alexandra from Greece. Hello. Hi, Kieran from Italy. Hello from Hong Kong, David. Georgia. Hello. We've got from Georgia. Bosnia, Selma. It's 5 o'clock in the morning in Brazil, so thank you for coming, Erica. That's absolutely wonderful. And we got Tunisia, Maria Luisa from Italy, lovely, Iran. I mean, wow. Ukraine, Istanbul, Morocco, Puglia, Milena, Bangladesh, Poland, Russia. Oh, I mean, that is absolutely amazing. We've just got all continents represented. Mexico, that's absolutely fantastic. And I think that's a real sort of tribute to the interest all over the world in reading and also the theme of well-being. So welcome to you all today. And what we're going to be looking at are ideas as to why reading is important for our children's well-being and what we can do as teachers, parents, or the general public basically to help children read more. And I've got some practical ideas and activities that you can use straight away with the Pearson graded readers. Okay, hello from Germany and the Philippines and Bosnia, lovely. Okay, so why is reading important for our child's well-being? Okay, can you just write in the chat what you think? Why do you think reading is important for children's well-being? Quiet time, yeah, lovely, absolutely. We've got that. Imagination, yes, yeah, no, absolutely. Lots of ideas, yeah. So basically, there's also lots of scientific evidence now as well. We've got lots of links that you can then go and read the research paper. This is from the National Literacy Trust, and it's an organisation that I would suggest you look up. Children who engage with reading are 3 times more likely to have high levels of mental well-being than those that don't. So if you know of any children with problems, do try and encourage them to read because it can actually make a big difference. Yeah. And in fact, you're giving all the reasons. So reading can also provide escape for a child. This is another organisation. It's called Book Trust. So look them up. They've got a fabulous website and lots of ideas. And basically, as you've said, it can help the imagination, it can help them switch off and distance themselves from the stress and worry of the day. Also, if you read with a child, having fun reading together can actually help change their mood and make them feel more positive. Like choosing a happy book or a laugh out loud book, so something that will make you laugh. You can read with silly voices, they can read to you with silly voices. So it's a really good way to bring positivity into whatever you're doing. So yeah, and Heike, absolutely, they see themselves reflected in the story. So research shows that extensive reading feeds into improvements in all areas of language competence. And this is from Stephen Krashen. So basically, it's not just about well-being, it's also about language competence, improving their competence, but just not in English, also in all subjects. So readers tend to do better. So this is the question that I get asked by teachers, by parents, by everybody. What can we do to help our children read more, or in some cases actually start reading, because sometimes they actually don't read? Yeah, oh, Misha says she's reading to her nephew via Skype these days. That's such a lovely idea. So sharing a story with your child is one of the most incredible things you can do for them. And this is from the Book Trust organisation. So what can we do? The question is that. So graded readers can help. So in the chat, can you just write down what you know about, what do you think graded readers are? So what are graded readers? Yep. Okay, great. The A, B, C, D levels of language, step-by-step learning. Yeah, so lots and lots of ideas there. Absolutely, you're all right. So great. This is from the British Council. And again, this is a great article, so I'd suggest you look it up. It does say that graded readers are reading books that contain language adjusted to the level of the learner rather than authentic language. Because very often people say, well, what should I read? What should I get my students to read? What should I get my children to read? So if they're not a native speaker, a graded reader is a good idea. Uh, Graded readers can help learners build their confidence, and lots of you put confidence in the chat, and they can make a useful addition to the exposure of authentic reading texts at very low levels. So for example, you know, we've got lots of examples, but your students can read lots of graded readers, original stories, but that have been graded to their language level. Okay, so in the chat now, when you were a child, what was your favourite story? So, what was your favourite story? Um, who told it to you? How did it make you feel? Was it a book or a film? Mine, for example, was The Wizard of Oz, and I saw it. I saw actually one of the films at the cinema, and I just fell in love with Dorothy, and I cried at the end. So we've got Red Riding Hood, we've got Cinderella, Adam and Eve. Okay, made up stories about witches. The link doesn't work. Okay, well you'll get the links afterwards, so don't worry about that. Snow White, Jules Verne, books, fairy tales. Okay, so lots, and absolutely, and it's a good idea if you're a teacher or if you're a parent or if you're doing classes or whoever you're engaging with, like your nephew. Try and find out from them what they like, because obviously that's really important. Because as you can see, everybody. So Garanka says she was a real bookworm. Vanessa, hi Vanessa from Italy, from Rome. She says that her grandfather read to her. So that's nice. Mark, he said that Hansel and Gretel story. Yeah, and that's very popular, especially sort of winter time, you know, for the gingerbread house. So making time to read at home. This is the important thing, isn't it? It's about making time to read. Okay, so reading stories can help our children in terms of well-being, see the world through other people's eyes, and it can help with their empathy and allowing them to connect and care for children. Okay, and again, it's the Book Trust. So look up Book Trust, and they've got a fantastic campaign called Time to Read, because it's all about time. Because if you ask people about reading, they usually say, I haven't got time. So it's making that time. That's your New Year's resolution today. Make time to read to someone, or to read with someone. So when can we read when we're talking about children? Well, Beverly clearly invented something called Dear Time, and it's called Drop Everything and Read. So you say to your children, you say to your class, you say to whoever it is, come on, just drop everything you're doing and let's engage in reading. And we either read together, or we call it silent reading, where I will read and you will read. So we all read. So try, drop everything and read. Okay, so create a story time for children. This is another thing, and there is a link there that you can take time to watch afterwards. This is Vanessa from a school in Rome. She's actually created a story time. So she was here. She's reading The Town Mouse and the Country Mouse, which is a lovely story for children. And you've got the Pearson version there. And again, if you video yourself reading a story, basically, if you video yourself reading a story, it's lovely because you can let your children watch it when you're not there. You can send it to your class. If you're doing remote learning, a lot of you now are teaching from home, or the schools are closed. So videos are a great way to just keep those stories, and children like to read, to watch them again and again and again. So, and also videos, making a story time video of you reading the story really helps develop listening skills as well. Admira says she's got um, a story time. She's got a dear time. Now, some people say they haven't got, if they haven't got time to make the videos, that's fine, and that's no problem, because there are loads out there, so you can, just circulate other people's if they're good. So I will, J.K. Rowling, obviously. We know who she is. I will defend the importance of bedtime stories till my last gasp. And in fact, some people have said, when is a good time to read? So bedtime stories. Now, again, Book Trust, they've got a lovely program called Bath, Book, Bed. So basically, regular nighttime bedtime routine, now this isn't just for children, it's actually good for adults and everybody, is associated with improved sleep. It helps the children, it helps their brain unwind, it helps them switch off for the day. So reading to or with a child for 10 minutes a day, or before they go to bed, can actually really make a difference in improving their vocabulary. It can also help improve the parent-child relationship, and it's important, if we're teachers, to perhaps tell our parents this. So perhaps there are, to do sessions on reading with your parents, to try and engage with parents, on that. Hi, Stefania. It's Roger from Rome. Lovely to see you. So, who can read to children? Well, obviously, anybody, but parents can make a big difference. So, through hearing stories that children are exposed to, try and make books as part of the family. So, talking about, the books that the students are reading or the children are reading, and encourage your parents, if you're a teacher, to have story times at home as well. And that can actually then help them engage with reading at school. So parents can maintain the child's motivation to read. It's important they let them choose as well, because choice is number one factor in people reading. Okay, so it's really, really important. Okay, so engaging with parents at home. Now, last week there was a fantastic webinar on the Now I Know primary book by Pearson, by Kasia. And one of the things she said, which I thought I'd re-propose today, is that it's really important for teachers it's not easy. It's not easy to establish contact with parents as much as possible, and to give very clear, simple guidelines, i.e., why, where, what, how. So, if you want, you will get the recording after. You can use some of these slides to actually engage with your parents. But I'd be interested in hearing from you now. So, in the chat, how do you, if you're a teacher, how do you engage with parents? Or if you're a parent, do your teachers engage with you? Do they suggest books that your children can read, or do you suggest things to the read? So how do you engage? We've got Mohammed arriving from Egypt. Okay. Oh, WhatsApp groups. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's a really good idea, isn't it? A lot of people have said, that they use WhatsApp. Mark reads to his children. My son reads to me to help me fall asleep. Hi, Vicky. That's lovely. Okay, so reading alone or reading together, a lot of people, ask about that as well. Now, sharing books, obviously with someone, so reading with them can really help foster a relationship as well. It's a special moment. The children know that it's that time, you're dedicating them time. So again, there's a really good website called The School Run. Okay, The School Run, and they've got a lot of research on there as well about reading, and the whole theme that reading can actually make a difference to a child's well-being. Okay, so how can we introduce reading at home? And on the website, the Education Endowment Foundation, basically, they give lots and lots of advice on tips for reading at home. So they talk about quality reading as well. So it's not the quantity, it's the quality. So if you're going to spend time reading, just really switch off the phones and focus on the book for 5 minutes. You know, less is more. Asking the children lots of questions while you're reading. So really engaging them, getting them to make predictions about what they've read, asking them to summarize what they've read, and also read and discuss with friends or family. And I remember someone saying that they read to their nephew on Skype. So that's a fantastic idea as well. And maintain the motivation to read, because again, it's all about nudging. That's why a lot of people don't read, because they just forget to read or they haven't got time. So, you know, even if you've got, you know, grandparents or something, you can say, you know, oh, right. Yeah, Oslem asks, do these apply for toddlers as well? Well, these books are absolutely fantastic. We're going to see them after, and you can read them for toddlers as well. They've got beautiful illustrations, so you can see that. But we'll, you know, look at that in a minute. In fact, the earlier you start reading with them, the better. Making sense of emotions. So reading books can actually give children a break from technology-centered lives, help them to unwind. Also, if your child is facing a particular problem, a story can actually help them make sense of what they're going through, because a character in the book might have the same problem. And again, remember, if you find funny books, it can make children laugh and feel happier. So again, you know, choosing the bright books is important as well. So how can we help at Pearson? On the Pearson website, on readers.english.com, there are lots and lots of activities. Each reader has a download, and you can download activities for teachers, and there are also some notes for parents for some of the titles. So you know, lots of ideas. You don't need to start to sort of try and invent lots of things. And Sashka, my colleague, is putting them in the chat. Heike says, yeah, make them feel like a frog or a king and let them act out. That's fantastic. So what have we got for before reading activities? Well, you can reveal part of the cover slowly. Ask them, what can you see? So what can you see? What can you see? Any idea what you can see? Has anyone got a clue there? Some of you may know this book. Okay. Well, any more? Any more takers? A desert, Vanessa? Yeah, fantastic. Any ideas? Bottom of a pond, beach and sand, says Eleanor. Islands. Yeah. Okay, let's see. You're all nearly there. Parrot. Okay, so we can talk about the cover. So this is the cover, and then you can reveal it slowly. So getting that anticipation. What can you see? What colours can you see? What's the book about? Okay, so and you can ask them some of these questions. Okay, we can also talk about the animals in the book. Okay, so for example, on the characters. So in this book, we've got a lorelete, which is an Australian bird. We've got a kangaroo. We've got a brolga, which is another type of bird, and we've got a koala. So can you all stand up? And Charlie has got special cameras in your houses to see that if you're standing up. But so if you can all stand up, and if loreletes fly, so if you can fly, okay, and a kangaroo jumps, okay, and a brolga dances, and a koala climbs. Okay, so show me what a koala does. Okay, and how about a lorelete and a kangaroo? Okay, and a brolga. And you can play these games of movement with your children, just getting them to do something like that. Okay, we can also pre-teach some of the vocabulary. So can you listen and repeat these words? So repeat after me all together. We can hear you in your houses. So apples, right, repeat. Cheese, mouse, tree, bus, milk, cow. Okay, what do you think this story is about? What's it about? Do you know the story? What do you think it's about? Okay. Let's see if anyone can. Yeah, I've got a few people writing now. Bird. Yeah. A farmer. Okay, fantastic. There you go, Justinia. You were in first. Yeah, it's actually the town mouse and the country mouse. So very close. Yeah, a mouse and a cow. Selma, good. Okay, and this is a lovely story. It's about a mouse that lives in the country and a mouse that lives in a town, and they become friends and live together. So and go and live in each other's houses and experience the life. How about this one? So slightly older, you're getting them to sort of write here if you want. Or number one, we need to complete the words. So can you complete these words? So we've got number one. I'll give you number one. It's a basket. Um, and number two, what else? What other words can you see? Can you just write down some of the words you can see here? So we've got a basket. Yeah, we've got a net. We've got a ladder. Okay. We've got a palace. Yeah, I can see that. And we've also got a cloud. We've got clouds and we've got trees. Okay. Um, and can you, yeah, you're all right. Okay, fantastic. Can you guess what the story is? Can you guess what the story is? Let me see. I've got it here. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Okay. And this story is Tom Thumb. Okay. So it was, yeah. And another activity is you can do discussion activities before reading. So here, if the children are slightly older, you can give them the cover of a book. So look at this cover. What animal is the story about? Yeah. What animal is the story about? Is it a happy story, do you think? And you can ask them about the mood. So again, looking at the reading from a well-being perspective. And then you can ask them to think about their favorite animal story. So have you got a favorite animal story? My favorite animal story that's actually in the Pearson Kids Disney readers is Dumbo. So have you got some of you are writing mouse? Yeah. Have you got a famous animal story? So again, it's that idea of what people like and what they don't like. Introducing new topics. So books can be absolutely fantastic for topics and making children feel less alone, especially if some of the children in the books have got problems. Now, what about this book here? This is fantastic. This is the Wallace and Gromit series from Aardman. So what are the topics? So look at the cover. What do you think the topics are? Right in the chat. Yeah, Shaun the Sheep, absolutely. Gunnar, the Lion King, we've got, yeah, absolutely. And Admira says that she uses Dumbo in grade 1 and 2 and they love it. I would recommend that you all look out for Dumbo, absolutely. Friendship, yeah, absolutely. And look how many topics, if you get your children to read Shaun the Sheep, are in there. So we've got animals, we've got trees, and this is a lovely one if you need to do something on ecology. We've got humour, we've got playing, games, we've got farms and farming, and we've also got the weather. So in a very simple graded reader, with very few pages, you've got loads and loads and loads of topics. And this is an absolutely lovely one with some really beautiful illustrations as well. Okay, so yeah, fast, the world around us. Okay, how about this one? This is, what do you think the topics are in Spider-Man? Caring for others, yeah, absolutely, yeah. In the book of the story of Spider-Man, we've got things like, so there it is, we've got things like family relationships, loneliness as well, and bullying. And because Peter was bullied a bit, and power and responsibility. We can talk about crime, surprises, identity, the double person. So again, something like Spider-Man, there's a lot more to it as well. And citizenship, absolutely. And I know in many countries it's important. You can download the activities for the reading scavenger hunt. So basically, you go through the words with the child. So we've got cheese, park, you can repeat them, and then the child flicks through the book, so tries to find those words in the book. So if I say to you lunch, you know, they try and find the word and then they point to the word. So it's called a scavenger hunt, and you can do it really simply. You don't actually need a worksheet. You can write it out, you know, yourself, or just say the words. So while reading activities, some more ideas. So reading comprehension can actually be improved if we start to scaffold and guide children. We help them think about prediction, questioning, clarifying, summarizing. So all of these techniques and activating prior knowledge can actually help. Okay, so again, it's called shared reading. We call it reading with, not reading to. So the idea is that we are reading together. And remember the good old WH questions: who, what, when, why, where, and how. They're just sort of classics and are great for reading comprehension. So talking about the characters and talking about opinions as well, what you like, what you don't like, because not everybody likes every book. It's really important that they start at a young age to decide what they like and what they don't like. Using the audio, all of these books have got audio, and you can download it from the website. So it's absolutely fantastic. You can use the audio, they can listen. It's really good if you've got students with dyslexia, because they can listen to the book. You could just play the audio, and as they hear a word, so for example, lunch. Okay, so if they hear the word lunch, they put their hand up. And then you can also play the audio again, just random sentences, and they quickly go through the book and try and find that sentence. So again, their listening skills as well are improved. So listening to the story together, they can do listen and point, listen and do, listen and repeat. Again, it's good models of English as well. So graded readers do provide good models of English, of pronunciation, but also of written text as well. So we can encourage our children to make predictions from the text. So once upon a time in China, there was an old and powerful emperor. He lived in an enormous palace by a deep, what do you think that word is there? And you can get a clue from the picture. Eleanor, you were number one. There you go. Okay. The emperor loved his palace and beautiful gardens. There was one problem. It was too, with a Q. What could that be? Oh, Gunnar. Yeah, number one, you got there. Quiet. So fantastic. So just taking out two words from a text, and they make a prediction. If you're doing remote lessons as well, it's something that you could do like this with your children. You could be telling them a story, and they can be watching like this. You can also make predictions from illustrations, though, as well. So where are the pirates? Where are they? Yeah. Can you? Yeah. Are they? I think I've got lots of people start. Yeah, in the middle of the sea. Ozium, you got there first. Great. And do they look happy? Or do they look scared? You know, and again, scared. Yeah, no. And then you can say, are you ever scared? You know, and we can talk about emotions. And they're trapped by sharks. Absolutely. So when you look more carefully. So we've looked at activities before we read, while we read, and then what can we get the students or the children to do after they finish the book? Well, they could make an audio recording with their phone, or their parents' phone, more likely, about one of the characters. So something very simple. This is the town mouse. He lives in a country. He likes apples. His friend is town mouse, or I like town mouse. So just a very quick recording on of a phone. You can also get them to learn new things. So, for example, Movie Island. This reader is lovely. And it's got its theme is about pirates. So a lot of children like pirates, so you can get into the theme of pirates with them, for example. And then you can ask the children what they know about pirates. Can you name some good ones? Are they good or bad? Can you name some of the pirates here in this story on this slide? Can you name any of the pirates? Yeah, we got Captain Hook. There you go, Taya. You were there first. And then you can ask the children to find out more about pirates. Again, who, what, where, when, why. And if you're a teacher, you can ask them to make a presentation. and tell the class. If you're a parent, it's something that they could just be doing at home, finding out more about pirates and making a little collage. And you can get them to draw a pirate's costume. Yeah, we got Jack Sparrow and Blackbeard. Thank you, Mark. Fantastic. So again, you could do these are activities from the activity sheets. Here the students have got to read the book and write sentences about the characters. Again, if we're thinking about well-being, try and encourage them to be positive. So here, looking at some of the characters like Dickon, and find something nice to say about them. Looking at it from a positive view. They can make masks. These are all on the downloads. They could, so they can download the masks or just make them themselves, of the characters. And here, for example, the link with the trees, they can make a Save for the Tree poster. So they can do activities. These are some students that we've got here in Italy, and they have just drawn their favourite page in the book, and that's nice as well. It's really interesting if you've got lots of different students to ask them to draw a picture of their favourite page, because they all like different things, and that's fantastic. Their favourite characters as well, or just the cover. And again, they can make a puppet show, so they can try and make puppets of some of the characters and then a little puppet show to their parents or to their families, and they can make a video of that, the parents can. Or you can, and it's something, if you're in lockdown, they can do remotely with their grandparents. You can get them, it's something to do. Let's make a puppet show for the grandparents or something. Yeah, Anita, Oslam says this is what I needed. Fantastic. They could make a lap book. So there's a reading project in Italy called Amazing Readers that you can connect with, and you can download some of the downloads there. This is a lovely lap book template. Again, that they can make, even with a sock, Vanessa. Yeah, and absolutely. Or they can make a classic mini book, and there's you can get loads of these on the internet. These origami books that are just so easy to make. They can make a fold-up book, and it helps them retell the story as well. So here, for example, they read Rainbow Bird, and then they've my favourite animal is turtle, the tiger, and I love that cover because she's put ratatata, so because she's actually not said who the animal is on the cover. So again, mini books are really good, and thank you, Sasha's put the links to Shauna's sheep on there. Again, another activity. So if they read Rainbow Bird, you can do a sort of picture dictation with them where they draw a blue sky, a big rainbow, 5 trees, so they can just draw some of the activity, some of the things in the book. Or they can connect to reality. Now, I read the book Rainbow Bird, which I didn't know, and I must say this is an absolutely fantastic story. It's a level 1, and it's about a bird that is grey, and he doesn't like being grey. He wants to be something else. So, and his friends, the kangaroo and the brolga, they're also grey, but they're okay about being grey. So they sort of, try and help him be happy. And in the end, he becomes a rainbow bird. He follows his dreams, and this is really nice story. And you can also connect with Australian animals in it. So I didn't know that the brolga bird actually exists, and it's a dancer, and the rainbow bird is the lorikeet. Ozium, yeah, the link to Rainbow Bird, I think Sasha can put that down. Absolutely. It's a level 1 reader, so very easy as well. You could also get your students to make a Padlet, and here's a Padlet. Again, this is good if you need to share activities with parents. So you can create a Padlet, you can go onto Padlet, create a Padlet, and then the children can write in the favourite character or whatever. But it's just a nice sort of storage place. There's also, in some of the books, we can make connections to the United Nations Global Sustainable Goals. So, for example, it's Good Health and Wellbeing today. This is from the Secret Garden. So if we can you do this? There's this Keep Fit chant that we can do to this. So if you can stand up straight and turn around, arms up high and touch the ground, march on the spot. 1, 2, 3, 4 more steps. Now turn to the door. Arms stretched wide and bend your knees. Time to stop now. Sit down, please. So again, in the book, Dick and Teach Colin exercises to keep fit, and you can ask your children to make up a little exercise to keep fit, and they like to do that as well. So reading circles. This is a great project for teachers. You can basically give each child, so your children can work in groups. They don't necessarily need to be in physical groups. It can be, groups that are separated and then they work together. So you give the children a different role. So, for example, they read a book, and it could be, The Secret Garden, for example. And one child is going to find links to the film. One child might find some new words for the book. It depends on the age of the children. One child might find links to citizenship. One child might look for places in the book. So, for example, The Emperor and the Nightingale, you could look at China. And you could look at some Chinese gardens around the world. You can look at the characters, and then they provide a nice poster or something afterwards. A lot of the readers also have are connected to films as well, so you can look up the films, and you can use the idea of the films. Have a sort of watch along with the about the films as well. And then a wonderful idea from Isabella Marini. She's a teacher in Rome, and I'll say hello to her because she's here today. You can actually plan a virtual play for everyone at the end of the year. So her children read The Wizard of Oz, the Pearson reader last year, The Wizard of Oz. Then they all went into lockdown, so the school play was going to be cancelled. So she organised a play. She used, I think, classrooms or Zoom. All the children at home dressed up in, in a costume. The costumes were made because they had nothing, so they were made out of material or bits and pieces, parents' clothes, and the children all read a piece of the play. And this is absolutely a fantastic idea. So I would suggest that you either organise a virtual play or a little virtual reading where your children can all read. So if it's a book, each child could read one line from the book or do something, just involving them all around the books. So mindful reading. Now, we talked before about finding time. So again, when we're reading with our children, we need to be in the present moment. So there's a webinar later by Amy Malloy on mindfulness. So again, it's slowing down and focusing on what you're reading as well. Finding a window of time for the reading, using different voices, and most importantly, turning off those mobile phones. And again, so we've come to the end now, but the summary here today is engage with parents. Not easy, but let's find ways of doing it. Carers or anybody that's at home, basically. Making time for reading with, remember, not to, so it's reading with. And encourage children to choose what they would like to read. So again, in your class, you could get them to, each child chooses a book, and you decide that together. So and I'm going to we've got this quote at the end here, which is fantastic, by the author Bali Rai. Reading for pleasure is the single biggest factor in success in later life, outside of an education. Study after study has shown that those children who read for pleasure are the ones who are most likely to fulfill their ambitions. So if your child reads, they will succeed. It's as simple as that. So as a teacher, or as a parent, one of the biggest gifts we can give to our children are books and the habit of reading. So I'll leave us all with Dr. Sayers. You can find magic wherever you look. Sit back and relax. All you need is a book.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Donna. You had finished there, had you?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant. Superb. It makes me wish that I learned English and that I could use readers to learn English myself. What a wonderful experience that would have been. Thank you, Donna, for putting together those slides and presenting us today. We haven't had any questions. Oh, sorry, Donatella, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, have we got any questions? Have we been through? Isabella says, oh, she's here with her virtual play. Yeah. Oh, she's following with her children. So hello to the class. That's lovely that you've got your children to watch the webinar as well. That's absolutely lovely. And everybody seems to like that quote at the end as well. So, I hope, this will inspire you all to go and look up these readers. As a big shout out to Sashka here and Rachel, who are the editors and marketing of the readers. But do go and look them up because they'll bring a lot of joy to your classes. What to do? Have we got any questions, Charlie? Or
No, but there's the first one in, or there's two in now.
yeah.
Should we
Okay.
address
So
those then, Donatella? Please
yeah.
go
So
for it.
we've got attention deficit children. Any special ideas? Well, absolutely. So reading to them, letting them listen to the audio, really involving them, and letting them move while they read. They might not want to sit down, but again, that idea of choice and getting them to do the actions and getting them really to move, while they're reading. And reluctant readers. So someone said something about the question was if children don't want to read. Apart from the fact that's absolutely fine, because again it's about choice. So they might not want to read, let's not sort of push them, but also getting them to choose a story. So because it might be that we're asking them to read things they don't like, so seeing if they're interested in the Spider-Man or some of the film readers. So again, that could be something. Okay, there's that's great. Well, I'm glad that there's a lot of people here that are saying they really enjoyed the activities. So I'm really glad. Later today, if you teach secondary children, there's another webinar about reading with different activities for secondary. So yeah, students at university will come to the seminar this afternoon because you can use some of those activities with students at university. But a lot of the principals here. Are there any studies that compare audio books and paper books effectively? Well, it's interesting because there are some studies coming through now about whether children prefer reading for pleasure with ebooks or paper books and studying with paper books and ebooks. So there are sort of there are lots of studies coming through now. Ideas are to be shared. Goranka, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that's super.
Tintian says, I'm going to steal some nice ideas. Absolutely. Teachers, you have to absolutely take these ideas into your classes. Angelina, good, nice ideas. Well, that's good. Well, it's been lovely to see you all today.
Really well, Donatella. Unfortunately, I think that's just about all we have time for.
Okay.
Judging by the comments and the feedback here, you, as always, have done a superb job of delivering this session. So thank you so much, Donatella, for that. And thank you to all of you for taking the time out of your day to join us. It's great to see so much excitement around the readers. As I said, I wish I learned English using the readers myself. So quick note, certificates will be sent out, recordings will be uploaded to our YouTube channel, and please look out for the virtual goodie bag, which will have a plethora of useful links and further reading. Please, we hope to see you at another Pearson English webinar very soon. Thank you and have a good rest of your day.